Hello, I'm Colleen Gallagher, CEO at Onward and Upward, and you're listening to the Association Insights podcast, where each week we interview association leaders from across the country to hear how they're trying new things, taking big risks, and delivering value for their members. We'll explore the realities of what it means to work in and with associations and bring you the insights and inspiration you need to advance your career and make big changes at your association. Let's get started.
Welcome to the 100th episode of the Association Insights podcast. I'm your host, Colleen Gallagher, and I could not be more excited or more grateful to be with you today. Whether you've listened from the very beginning when we were the Association 100, or you just recently discovered us as Association Insights, thank you. This podcast has been a labor of love, a source of community, and a window into the absolute brilliant minds of association leaders across the country. We had big plans for this milestone, everything from a roundtable of past guests to a live episode to highlight reels from all 100 interviews. But just like in the association world, sometimes life has other ideas. Between running a business, keeping clients happy, and being mom to a very energetic, almost 4-year-old, here I am at 4 a.m. the day before this goes live, recording solo and just speaking from the heart about a project that's meant so much to me over the last 4 years. So today we're celebrating with a special episode called 100 Insights from 100 Episodes. Now, before you freak out, I promise I'm not about to list 100 individual takeaways. You can keep your seat. Instead, I'm going to reflect on what I see as the biggest themes that have emerged. I'll share a few memorable moments and look ahead to what's coming next. Looking across all of our conversations, from CEOs of global organizations to comms pros leading the way from the middle and everyone in between, there are a few big ideas that just keep showing up. One of the biggest is change is the only constant. The leaders who are thriving are those who embrace disruption. They test new ideas and get comfortable with reinvention. Community matters now more than ever, especially in the wake of isolation that we faced during the pandemic and with the way technology works today. Our listeners and guests have stressed the power of belonging and peer support. Member value is the North Star. Whether it's rethinking dues models or creating safe spaces for tough conversations, associations are doubling down on delivering real value. Mission clarity makes decision-making easier. Especially in times of uncertainty, going back to your mission helps align staff, board, and members, and it keeps your association grounded. DEI, accessibility, and inclusion, they're not just side projects, and they aren't stopping just because of the politics of the day. They are essential to modern leadership, and the associations getting it right are the ones embedding these values into everything they do. Peer-to-peer connection is a top member benefit. Every leader we've talked to says it. Members want to connect with each other as much as, or more than, they want to hear from your organization. You also need to rethink your value propositions regularly. If you haven't talked to your members in the last 6 months about what they need, now's the time. Communications isn't a support function. It's a strategy. Bring your comms leaders to the table early if you want your programs to succeed. Your members are your best ambassadors. Whether it's a member get a member campaign or peer-led local events, nothing beats a member telling their own story. The profession you serve is evolving, so your definition of membership should too. Whether it's embracing Gen Z or recognizing adjacent professions, expanding who belongs is a growth strategy. You knew AI was going to come up here, and it will. AI isn't optional. It's essential, but it needs to be implemented thoughtfully, and ethics, privacy, and human oversight matter more than ever. Leadership, it's about curiosity, not certainty. The absolutely most effective CEOs we've interviewed aren't the ones who pretend to have all the answers. They're the ones that are asking questions, listening hard, and making true space for experimentation. And finally, community is everything. When the news cycle is just relentless, the workplace is changing every day, and uncertainty is really the only constant, People need connection, and your association can be that safe, supportive place. A few episodes that have really stuck with me. There's been a lot over the years. Obviously, this is episode 100, one of our recent media series episodes with Kirsten Garris, sharing what it's really like to be a journalist today and how associations can be better media sources. It was a really great one. I absolutely love talking to Kinsey Fabrizio of Consumer Tech Association. She shared her inspiring career journey, how she rose through the ranks, expanded membership, and led a bold rebrand while staying focused on impact and innovation. I loved getting to talk to Benny Johnson of the American Marketing Association. He reminded us to lead with humanity and humor and to never underestimate the power of bold ideas. Recently on our leadership series, Brandy Thacker talked about the shift from departmental thinking to true CEO level strategy. That one really resonated. We also had a couple other great ones during the leadership series. Joanna Pineda shared how she intentionally reinvents her company every 3 to 4 years to stay ahead. And I thought that was so fascinating. Anne Ranke came on and gave us some insights about uniting diverse stakeholders under a common advocacy mission. I think that rings true for so many associations. And then most recently, Annette Gregg reminded us that protecting our mindset is just as important as protecting our strategy. Across all of the episodes, what I love is each one brings some kind of clarity. It brings courage. It brings something that we can all take back to our own organizations. And I also can't forget the episodes that our internal team did. And those meant so much to me. One of the most personal ones was our roundtable on mental health in the workplace, where we really talked about how to show up with compassion, how to reduce stigma, how to lead with care. And that meant a lot. And then, of course, it all started with our very first episode, just me and Megan Henning, who hates to get behind a microphone, but as so often, she has stepped up when I've asked her to do something with me and join along in something crazy. And we launched this podcast to create a space for candid conversations about associations and communications. And that first episode, we hit on a mix of our career stories, the comms challenges we faced over the years, and some lightning round fun that we have since put all of our guests through. And really from there, we were off and running, and it's been a lot of fun. When I look ahead, here are the 3 things I'm watching closely just because of everything we've heard over the last few years. No question, AI and ethics, how associations can harness AI tools while staying grounded in trust and transparency will be such a focus for the years ahead. Workforce transformation, from burnout to Gen Z expectations, the way we engage talent is shifting fast. And the last one is going to be navigating polarization. Associations are finding themselves at the center of increasingly politicized debates. The leaders who are responding with clarity and courage really inspire me, and it's going to be interesting to see how things play out in the coming years. We're going to keep diving into those issues and more as we head into our next 100 episodes. So thank you again to everyone who has tuned in, shared feedback, joined us as a guest, or recommended a topic. You're why we do this. And to celebrate our 100th episode, we're also doing a small giveaway. The first 3 listeners to message me on LinkedIn or reply to this week's newsletter will receive an Association Insights swag pack or get a free 60-minute consulting session with our team. Your choice, and I promise not to be offended if you don't want to talk with me for 60 minutes, but either way, great gift options there for you. And if you haven't yet, be sure to follow us on LinkedIn at Onward and Upward and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Here's to the next 100 episodes.
That's a wrap for today's episode. The Association Insights Podcast, previously known as the Association 100 Podcast, is a production of Onward and Upward Marketing and Communications, where our mission is to make associations and nonprofits the go-to source in their industries through earned media and thought leadership. This podcast is an extension of our newsletter, a bi-monthly collection of best practices, top trends, helpful ideas, and smart strategies delivered straight to your inbox. Have you undertaken a big change at your association? Or do you have some words of wisdom from the trenches of association life? We want to hear from you, and so do our listeners. Drop us a note at info@onwardupward.com. That's info@onwrdupwrd.com. Be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share with your friends and colleagues. We're available anywhere podcasts are found. Come back next week for more association insights and inspiration. Thanks for tuning in.